It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All the sports news you need every day in under 20 minutes. Follow Locked On today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode. We are doing a part 2 with Ken Gibbs from Locked On Wolfpack. We have JJ Jackson, who is staying strong in those Alabama weather conditions, and we are going to hold it down for him today, making sure that we get a full cap. All those things, ACC football, the countdown is real, and we are so excited, right? If you're a college football fan, we've got you covered here on Locked On Podcast Network. Tune into your favorite Power 5 conference shows on Thursday, September 26th and Friday, September 27th. Search Locked On ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and SEC on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. Here we are for part 2 with Ken Gibbs.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Wrapping up the show here, we are talking with Ken Gibbs. Got 3 more teams to cover. We got Georgia Tech, who is not playing around this season. They are going to be, to me, one of the most interesting teams because I think they had a hard 2020. Starting out with Northern Illinois should be a good one. Starting out at home at that in Atlanta at 7:30 on Saturday, September 4th. Do you have high expectations for Jeff Sims and Jahmyr Gibbs, especially Jeff Sims, black quarterback in Atlanta? The swagger is there, energy is there, and you've got a 1-2 man right here helping you, Jahmyr Gibbs. Are the expectations high?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
no, but it's good though.
Let me time you out because you see the way I hyped that up, and you was like, "Yeah, come on." You see all the expectations he got it, and you just like, "So that was flat, bro."
But you didn't hear me. That was flat, bro. You didn't hear. You got to let me. Can I finish?
That was flat, bro.
They are in the best situation of all of the middle of the road to bottom of the conference tier teams.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2020 be wasted in a year where they weren't going to be good. None of their players, none of their stars are really older guys, right?
Yeah.
So you give that up. You let your young guys take their lumps. Nobody cares. It's the COVID year. Nobody's going to look back on that year. Nobody broke any records. Nobody did anything that was super out of the way that year, right? So you take that and then you say, hey, I had y'all lumps in the year that didn't count. Come on out and be good in the year two. That's where you go from there. That's how you move forward. And that's why the expectations aren't super high because they're only 1 year removed from taking a lump. The way that this thing works, if you're not a school that rebuilds, if you're not a school that reloads and doesn't rebuild, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a Clemson, you can't afford it back, right? If you're
not?
I mean, okay, let me say it like this. If you're a Clemson, you can't afford a 4-loss. You can't afford it. People will look at you crazy. There will be questions asked. People are going to be ready for heads to roll after 1 4-loss season. If Georgia Tech goes 8-4, they might build a statue of Jeff Sims outside that stadium. They'll be about Jahmyr, get with it.
It would be Coach Collins before it's Jeff.
Oh, they're going to rename the stadium after Collins. It's going to be Collins Stadium. I'm telling you. That is why I'm saying the expectations aren't high, but you still got to go exceed them now. Gibbs, Sims, and Cole, go exceed what's expected of you, because what's expected of you is bottom of the barrel to maybe middle of the road, but you've got all the makings to be better, so go do it. See, you came in acting like I just didn't have no faith and didn't care. The expectations are high nationally. The expectations are high in this conference. I'm just saying they've got the perfect situation to go beat it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. And then we got Virginia Tech, who is opening up against UNC, Kitten's personal favorite.
Do I got to talk about them?
Absolutely.
Do I got to do it?
They're headed to Blacksburg, Virginia. We all know Lane Stadium is one of the best places to play football. I think I'm most excited because just the energy, right? Now that we get fans back, I think it's going to make a big difference. And no tea, no shade. The year Sam Howell, one of the years that Sam Howell went off was a year with no fans. Is this year going to be similar? right? Is the year that he has all the fans back. Will he get distracted, especially considering he has new young receivers that he has to depend on? He has running backs that he's never worked with in live game action. I think this is going to be a true test, especially on the road. You're going to find out who you are real quick.
No, he's not.
Okay.
No, he's not.
See, again, everyone who's listening, attention here. You see how I build it up? You see how I make it nice? And then he just falls flat? You're not great teammates. It's okay.
The reality is you need a teammate like me because you see everything with those rose-colored goggles.
How did I see
somebody
Did you hear what I just said?
Listen, you said it's going to be a great environment and they're going to find out what Sam Howell can bring in game one.
Stadium's not a great environment.
Lane Stadium is a great environment, but we're going to find out what Sam Howell can bring. Burmeister cannot hit the ocean from the beach. The boy couldn't hit the wide side of a Walmart from the pharmacy drive-thru.
Everyone's excited to have college football back.
The energy in that place is going to be palpable. We know that. It's Lane Stadium. Enter the Sandman. Ooh-wee. Hearts are going to be bumping. When those keys get to jingling, when you hear that, ching, ching, ching. Oh, yeah. But guess what? That ching, ching, ching ain't going to get Burmeister passing mechanics together. Trey Turner is one of the best receivers in the ACC. I think that when he goes to the NFL, he's going to put up numbers that surprise some people if he's put in the right situation. I'm a big believer in Trey Turner. I'm upset that NC State let him get out of the state. But with that being said, somebody got to get that boy the ball. Khalil Herbert from last year, gone. One of the best running backs in the nation, gone. And you couldn't throw the ball when you had really good backs with you. When you had Garrisol, one of the best rated offensive linemen in the nation with you. What are you going to do now that he's gone? Now the running back's gone. What are you going to do?
More importantly for Virginia Tech as a whole, when you don't have a Hendon Hooker to come in and save the day, I think that's going to be the biggest question. Fuente is going to have to answer for that.
And here's the thing where this is why I say we're not going to find out what Sam Howell is or is not, or how these new weapons, what they are not with him in game one. I've seen this story play out. And it's the tale as old as time, and I'm not talking about Beauty and the Beast. The thing that happens, you put a good or even better, anything less than a great defense out, right? And you put them against a team with a good offense, but their offense can't do anything. And what happens is 1-3-0. Your defense has to go out there, get a stop. They get the stop. Another 3-0. Your defense goes out there, they got to get a stop. They get the stop. And then the 5-play drive that results in nothing. You punt the ball. The defense goes out there, get a stop. They get the stop. And then another drive that leads to nothing. And now your defense is looking at you. They're tired. They're worn down. The guys on the other side of the ball are on scholarship too. The only problem is the folks that you have on offense on scholarship, Justin Fuente, you done ran off one of the best that you could have had. So now you're stuck with Braxton. Now that's your guy.
Just say Braxton's not your guy. Let's just say what it is.
Listen, I'll say this. You saw many a game with Braxton Burmeister, correct?
Sure.
You saw many a game with Hendon Hooker, correct?
Sure.
Now, of those two, and I mean this now, if you had to rank them 1 to 10, 1 being just poo-poo water, I barely trust the boy to hand the ball off, 10 being, I don't care how far we down, I don't care what's going on. If he's my quarterback, we got a shot. What would you rate Hendon Hooker on that scale?
I would give Hendon an 8, and I would give Burmeister a 6.
Ooh, you real generous to Burmeister, baby. Because I wouldn't give him
like a 5.5.
I wouldn't give him nothing higher than a 4. I wouldn't give him nothing.
He's a good game manager. He's a good game manager.
I'll tell you this. But you know what? See, they said that there's this challenge going around where you got to say one nice thing about your least favorite thing in the world or one of the things you don't like in the world. It helps you become a better person.
Say one nice thing about Coach Fuente.
I was just going to say something about Burmeister.
No,
let me do Burmeister.
One nice thing about Coach Fuente.
Coach Fuente is, in fact, a head coach in the ACC.
That's admirable for you.
That's very admirable. That means he's at the top of his profession. Now, let me tell you one nice thing about Burmeister.
Okay.
He is actually very good with his legs.
Ooh,
he can run the ball well. To me, if he was a running back, if he was a slot receiver, I'd love the guy.
He might switch when it's all said.
Good. Do it now. What the Everest commercial say? You sitting at that quarterback position, you wasting your life trying to throw the ball. You can't throw the ball. You want to switch over to receiver. You want to switch over to running back, Braxton. Don't wait. Do it now. You sitting there listening to Locked On ACC, switch the receiver now. Switch the tailback now.
Oh my gracious of my Lanza. And then you didn't even mention UNC, but that's good because you don't cover them here on this Locked On ACC episode. Praise God for whom I'm busting. But an aside, if anyone wants to know, I was traveling this weekend. I was watching Friday Night Lights, and on the pilot episode, Mac Brown was up there talking to the head coach of the fake football team about what he needed to do to bring Texas football back. So the irony was just like, first of all, Mac was same Mac, same energy, same high volume, same personality, but thought that was interesting. So if any of you guys want to watch Friday Night Lights on Netflix, you can see Coach Mac Brown. That's for all the UNC fans. But Pittsburgh, they are the final team that Kenton Gibbs will be covering this season for us, giving us recaps, going more in depth. And then JJ Jackson on the Tuesday episodes will go over the other teams. And I just want to know, how are you feeling about Pittsburgh? They have a lot of things to make up for, have a lot of people who who went to the league and are extremely, talented. And it's hard to make up for that. But they do have a pretty strong senior class here as well. Leadership is there. They open up against UMass. Don't think that's going to be a problem for them. But looking into kind of how their season will roll, how can Kenny Pickett, who doesn't get his name called like the rest of these ACC quarterbacks, handle this season? What's up, everybody? Candace Cooper here from Locked On ACC. And let me tell you about Sonos, the official sponsor of ESPN College Football. Experience the game like never before with Sonos Arc, the premium smart sound bar for movies, TV, music, gaming, and more. The precise and immersive sound of Dolby Atmos will make you feel like you are in the stadium. When the TV is off, stream music, Locked On ACC podcasts, or even audiobooks when using Sonos app, Apple AirPlay 2, or your voice with Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant. Sonos works with all your streaming services, plus you can listen to thousands of stations free on Sonos Radio. Tune into the local stations, relax with your favorite genres, hear what world-renowned artists are loving, and discover new music. Arc was designed from the inside out for incredibly clear sound and rich bass, then fine-tuned by Oscar and Grammy-winning producers, mixers, and artists. True Play tuning software further enhances your listening experience by optimizing Arc's sound for the unique acoustics of the room. Don't wait any longer to get one of the best sound systems in the game. Go to Sonos.com to learn more.
I'll tell you this much. The team goes as KP goes. He will have to lead this team. I think that there are three different situations that you have with quarterbacks, okay? Really, this applies to any player, but you win because of them, meaning that they are the show. They make the engine go. They do it all. They're the reason that the team. Exactly. Okay. A De'Aaron King is a guy you win because of. Because you take De'Aaron King off that Miami team last year, tough. You're looking at some Tate Martell, your starting quarterback, ain't gonna be tough. But anywho, best of luck to Tate Martell at you and them. But there's two quarterbacks that you win with. Like, he doesn't hinder your chances, but he doesn't do anything that's game breaking. What Bailey Hockman was last year for NC State, for the most part. You won with him. Like, he didn't make any spectacular plays, or for all the spectacular plays he made, he didn't make one where you're like, oh my God, what is that? It kind of evens out, right?
Where is he now?
He is at Middle Tennessee State. Okay. Best of luck to him. Go Blue Raiders. Now, you get the quarterbacks that you win in spite of, right? That's your Chase Bryce hit award. Like, you're like, Jesus Christ, Chase, please, I am begging you, do not do whatever you are thinking of doing with the ball, do the exact opposite and we'll be fine.
That's more so the ones where you're like, please don't try and play here.
No. Don't try to play. Like, you don't want that guy on the field. The guy that you have to win
you are not
in spite of, you are the GOAT, not the GOAT in the good way. You remember how people say you're the hero or the GOAT as in like the stubborn one that just goes your own way and we don't like that? Yeah, you're that. You're that. Stop. Don't do that. You don't want to be that guy, okay? And Kenny Pritchard is going to have to be the guy they win because of. He's going to have to just pretty much say, hey, y'all don't know which way to go. I'll make it easy. Follow me. Everybody follow me. I'll show you the direction. I'll show you how to get these wins. Because Pittsburgh is a university that rebuilds. They're not a reload school, and they have more players drafted than Clemson.
Very true.
They had more players drafted
than the most in the ACC. Which, when you think about it, looking at their schedule last year, is a little bit of a head scratcher because they did not perform in ways that you expected.
Well, yes, but also they had a lot of guys sit up. Patrick Jones Jr. is a baller. everybody from Vikings camp has been saying he's it. He's the guy. He's the one.
Now 2020 was a poor reflection.
Yeah. I think it was a poor reflection because, so I talked about Georgia Tech earlier being the greatest beneficiary of the COVID year. Pittsburgh was the team that was the most hurt by it because that was Pittsburgh's time. That was Pittsburgh's Ozai's Comet. For those of you who don't watch Avatar, Ozai's Comet was like this thing that happened where a comet was passing by Earth and it gave the firebenders extremely exaggerated power. Everything that they had before it was times 100, right? That was the year for Pitt last year. Everything had lined up for them perfectly, and COVID hit them with the Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. And it went downhill and hurt. But with that being said now, we're looking at a situation with this Pittsburgh team where Narduzzi is going to coach up some defense. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to stop the run. They're going to have some penalties, but they're going to be a good. Kenny, what you going to do? This team cannot win with you. They have to win because of you, baby boy, or else they won't win.
I mean, it's fair enough to say when I'm just sitting here thinking and really trying to contemplate. Like, I think Coach Narduzzi does put his team in a position to win. And I think that being in the Coastal, you have a better chance. There's always a chance in the Coastal. So it'll just be interesting. They have a nice opening with UMass at 4:00 in Pittsburgh to start their season. And that'll be on ACC Network for those of you that are looking forward to seeing that. And if after all of that talk, and I know you didn't get to cover everyone, but is there a game that's really just sticking on your mind? You have it circled. Can't wait to watch it.
You know, I'm gonna say this, and some people are gonna look at me like I'm crazy, but this circles back to why you should have let me finish talk the first time. Georgia Tech, Northern Illinois. Georgia Tech, Northern Illinois, because I think that Northern Illinois is one of the better group of 5 teams. And their situation against Georgia Tech is a situation where you're looking at, they're going to come in with the attitude of they've beaten Power 5 teams in the past. So you're looking at this team and you're saying, well, what are y'all going to do? Because they have a very experienced defensive line. Okay, with Mr. Esther over there, who's a Cass Tech graduate. He's a senior. He's a captain over there. They said he's trimmed up. He's really, really looking good. What is this Georgia Tech team going to do against a team that is supposed to be undersized normally, but their strength is in the trenches? So what are you going to do with that team? And, of course, the North Carolina-Virginia Tech. Those are 2 games I'm watching closely because I'll tell you this. I want to see if Braxton has learned how to throw the ball. And I want to see how good is this UNC team. Top to bottom, they're ranked in the top 10. I don't think that Virginia Tech is ever going to sniff being ranked this year. So if they don't manhandle them, I have questions. I have some.
I think very seriously, me personally, I don't buy it. Like, I want to believe it. I truly want to, you know me, I'm very much a homer when it comes to my squad. I want to believe it, but I just don't buy it yet. Now, I will tell you this. If they had beat Texas A&M last year without Javonte, without Chaz, without Daz Newsome, De'Ami Brown, all those guys, I would have said, yeah, we're put on notice, good. But the fact that they couldn't steal it yet, I was like, okay, we're still not where everyone wants us to be. We're still not that team. And I still don't understand why we're getting as much hype as we are. We were in the game. Congratulations. But no.
And I think that that's one of the worst things that can happen. I think being overrated is one of the worst things that happen to you because, I mean, at the end of the day, a school like Alabama, right? Nick Saban calls press clippings rap boy because he says that if you read your press clippings and you think you're as good as everybody says you are, you find out that you're not very quickly.
And that's bad for your psyche.
Exactly. And in the words of Andre 3000, you only funky as your last cut. So this is a situation where you have a team ranked in the top 10. Now, I don't think they're used to it. I don't think that they know, like, okay, you're only funky as your last cut means week in and week out, we have to be top 10 next. We cannot have a week off where we're like, oh yeah, you know, we'll struggle with this team, but they don't matter. We'll figure it out eventually. No, y'all aren't that good.
They definitely need that job's not done mentality.
Exactly.
We definitely need to have that every single week in and week out. We're not where we want to be until we're hoisting up the college football playoff national championship. And I don't know if we'll get there, but hey, you just never know. So I'm glad to hear about all these great schools that you want to see. And I would be remiss if I didn't get my last conversation in about Rock Auto. With ever increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your car chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing only the brands behind their warehouse happens to carry. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer. Go explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs. Go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need.
NFL teams are trimming down while the SEC lays down the law. Here's what our local experts are locked on today. Lots of cuts around the NFL today, including Patriots quarterback and former MVP Cam Newton. Make sure you find your favorite Locked On NFL Team podcast today and follow them on Twitter for the latest roster updates. COVID-related absences continue to hamper NFL teams' preseason preparations. The Indianapolis Colts are missing quarterback Carson Wentz, Pro Bowl center Ryan Kelly, and receiver Zach Pascal, who all landed on the reserve COVID-19 list. Our local expert in Indy, Evan Sidery, tells you who will step up in their place today on Locked On Colts. And in college football, the SEC has instituted a forfeiture policy for teams that can't play because of COVID-19. Who will it impact most? The answer is on the Locked On Today podcast. All the sports news you need in under 20 minutes. Follow Locked On Today, wherever you get your podcast. Local experts on the biggest stories. It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ken Gibbs, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Please remind folks of where they can find you and follow all of your great coverage this season.
You can find me at LO_Wolfpack on Twitter. You can find me on Locked On Wolfpack wherever you're at Locked On Wolfpack wherever you're listening to this. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be rocking all season, and we're hopefully me and Candace can understand each other a little better, because I don't know why she cut me off talking about, you let me flat, when there were good things to be said there. But yeah, that's where y'all can find me. I'm very responsive. I appreciate any interaction I get with y'all, be it love, hate, or indifferent. I appreciate you all.
And if you are looking to bet on any teams this season, again, we want you guys to be covered solely. Don't let it be a guessing game. If you listen to the new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling, they have got you covered. Get daily picks, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, and Lee Sterling's lock of the day. Follow Locked On Bets podcast, brought to you by betonline.ag, wherever you get podcasts. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs, we look forward to talking to you tomorrow. We've got some more teams to cover again, we got 3 days until the ACC kicks off, and until next time.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
NFL teams are trimming down while the SEC lays down the law. Here's what our local experts are locked on today. Lots of cuts around the NFL today, including Patriots quarterback and former MVP Cam Newton. Make sure you find your favorite Locked On NFL Team podcast today and follow them on Twitter for the latest roster updates. COVID-related absences continue to hamper NFL teams' preseason preparations. The Indianapolis Colts are missing quarterback Carson Wentz, Pro Bowl center Ryan Kelly, and receiver Zach Pascal, who all landed on the reserve COVID-19 list. Our local expert in Indy, Evan Sidery, tells you who will step up in their place today on Locked On Colts. And in college football, the SEC has instituted a forfeiture policy for teams that can't play because of COVID-19. Who will it impact most? The answer is on the Locked On Today podcast. All the sports news you need in under 20 minutes. Follow Locked On Today, wherever you get your podcast. Local experts on the biggest stories. It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.